Welcome back. Well, the latest issue of Arizona Highways magazine takes a look at one of the wonders of Arizona located just west of Tucson. I'm talking about Saguaro National Park, and Editor-in-Chief Robert Steve is here with a preview of this spectacular issue. Robert, it's always great to have you on.
Thanks for having me, Alex. Great to be here.
And whenever you come on, I know we're going to see some beautiful pictures.
Yeah.
And this year we're seeing some beautiful art on the cover.
Yeah, it's part of our Explore Arizona series. So for the whole year, we're doing segments on some of the most beautiful places in the state. So obviously we're talking about your backyard this time with Saguaro National Park, and the covers are all illustrated by another connection to Tucson, an artist named Chris Gall, who's doing all 12 of these for us. This is our third one. I've actually seen a few more, but this is one of my favorites so far. I love the scale of the saguaros in that shot.
Well, they're stunning, and you know, at the beginning of the year we sat down and we said who's going to do a whole artist series, and everyone has just impressed me so much.
Thank you.
He's a beautiful artist. It's a great addition to the covers.
Yeah.
And you brought along some other pictures too that we're going to take a look at. The first one is Tucson Mountain District and the sunset light.
Yeah, you know, people are used to seeing photographs, so the illustrations throws them off a little bit, but inside it's everything you're used to seeing in the magazine. And so with each of these issues, of course, sort of the anchor pieces, the big portfolio, and you know, we do a photo call on something like Saguaro National Park, and we literally get thousands of images. So trying to narrow it down to about a dozen was a workout. But Saguaro National Park, as you know, and your viewers all know, there's two districts, and so there's the Tucson Mountain District over on the west side of the city, and then the Rincon Mountain District on the other side. This one was shot out west.
Well, and people think it's a desert, you know, it's hot, it never changes, but it couldn't be farther from the truth, because the next photo illustrates just how different it can actually look.
Yeah, I think you're talking about the foggy, snowy shot.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, and it does happen, you know, for people who are maybe visiting from out of town watching the show today.
There it is.
It happens. We don't get a lot of snow down in the desert at this elevation, but it does happen. This is a photograph by, coincidentally, another icon of Tucson, Jack Dykinga, who's a Pulitzer Prize winner and one of our longtime contributors. And, you know, I mean, just everything about that photo. You've got the sun, and you've got the snow and the fog, and then, of course, the saguaros, which are why we're here today. So just a beautiful shot.
I might make that my iPhone wallpaper, actually. That's just incredible.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I see a lot of images, and I'll tell you, that's one of the best.
Well, and the desert is also a great preserver of history, and there's one photo that I really love, the Hohokam hieroglyphs.
Yeah, right. You know, so you've got a long history here that predates you and me, Alex, and you know, you've got these petroglyphs out there, which are part of the park, part of Arizona in the Southwest, and you know, the thing about those things is they're ancient, and so you know, you will see them if you're out hiking around, and so you really need to be respectful and look but don't touch if you happen to stumble upon those. That's Ragged Top Mountain out in the distance there, which is a really, you know, very, very familiar landmark in this part of the state.
Beautiful. And what is the difference between a hieroglyph and a petroglyph? I said hieroglyph, and I think that's only in Egypt, right?
Yeah, I think that's Egypt. Yeah, and we have petroglyphs and pictographs.
Okay.
So, you know, a pictograph is actually something that's painted onto the rock, and a petroglyph is something that's sort of scratched into the rock.
Got it. Okay, and the next one is a storm over Tucson.
Yeah, we get those too. And this was shot over in the other side, over in the Rincon Mountain District. And that's kind of a beautiful shot. We like that it's looking kind of down, you know, from high to low in this shot, and really just a beautiful shot. You're so blessed to live in Tucson and have all this beauty all around you.
It is gorgeous. It's a heck of a view. And the next photo, it's one of our last, unfortunately, but it's beautiful. It's the park is seen from the Valley View Overlook Trail.
Yeah, and nice. I think it's less than a mile, that trail in distance. So, and most of the trails in the park are accessible to most people. There aren't any real strenuous hikes. There are some that go to higher elevations that are more of a workout, but there are a lot of short, relatively easy trails, so you can, you know, get out of your car and actually get out and get up pretty close to the saguaros, and it's a great way to show off. You have those winter visitors coming out to beat the snow up north and take them out to the park. Just
gorgeous. And I have to ask you, you know, on social media all the time there's that hashtag no filter.
Yeah.
Do these have filters on them, or are they just as they were?
Well, you know, all photographers forever have used some kinds of filters, you know, but they do it the old-fashioned way, you know, where it's a filter on their lens in some cases. But we don't alter any of our photographs. I mean, people will, you know, talk, oh, you photoshopped this or you photoshopped that. We don't do that. Yeah, Instagram has sort of changed and Photoshop before that sort of changed the mindset of people. But the reality is photographers have been playing tricks for a long time with
Right.
the way they develop.
And here's the look at the back cover too.
Yeah, another shot from down here, so more petroglyphs there for you up in the park.
Well, Robert, Steve, as always, it's a pleasure to have you on to talk about what's right in our backyard. People don't, I think, go to this often enough and see the beauty that's right here in our neighborhood.
Yeah, you know, to have a national park in what's essentially in an urban area is very unusual in our country.
It is. Robert, Steve, as always, thank
Thanks.
you. All right. Now it's time you subscribe to Arizona Highways Magazine. Just call 1-800-543-5432 or visit arizonahighways.com.